I think I heard this I was listening to a podcast episode that had like that John Bartholomew, the Punisher guy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It was him and I think Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Did you listen to that episode? We talked about this, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
A little bit.
But he was talking about it, and obviously, Shia LaBeouf was in the face of a lot of controversy, and everybody was kind of like axing him and stuff over, different allegations and stuff like that. Whatever. But John had him on his podcast, and they were talking, and at one point, John was talking about how everybody was saying, no, don't have Shia LaBeouf on your podcast. Don't have him on. He's a terrible person and this and that, whatever. And John said something that I thought was intelligently said, right? He said something along the lines of, if we really want to make change in the world with people that are, having issues, doing bad things, whatever it may be, he said, removing yourself from their life sometimes is, or just axing them out is not the way to do it, right? Yeah. If we actually want to be able to influence somebody's behavior, getting closer to them and getting to a place where there's some mutual trust and some respect will position you to then have the leverage to have hard conversations with those people later on.
Yes.
Right? And listen, again, I'm not here to fucking change the dog daddy's views and opinions or anything like that, right? Like he can do what he does as long as he's not doing anything illegal. Right?
Yeah.
I don't see that he's in jail or doing anything illegal, obviously, right? But, let's look at so Hoosier Canine, right? That whole thing, that whole podcast that I did with him was sparked from a bunch of TikTok controversy and, him obviously not agreeing with things that I was doing, and he wanted to have a conversation about it, and we talked about it, and we had a very respectful conversation, and now him and I wouldn't say we're friends, right? Yeah. But like, him and I will DM back and forth, right? And we'll talk to each other. And while all this stuff was going on with the dog daddy, I was reaching out to him and discussing it with him a little bit and stuff like that. And him and I have developed a relationship where I'm sure that he disagrees with a shit ton of stuff that I do, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily care how he trains, but how he trains isn't necessarily how I would train either, right?
Yeah.
But we have respect for each other enough where like we're able to have these conversations and trust that the feedback and the opinions that we give each other back and forth are valid and not coming from like a negative place.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important with this kind of stuff. And again, that's what I want to do with the podcast.
Yep. And that's why discourse is one of the most important things that I don't want to say cancel culture, but that is what it is. Like you need to have the conversations in all aspects of life to be able to have any kind of reconciliation.
Yeah.
Because if you just live in your own bubble and just try to outcast everybody, well, that's how you get people to hate you and your views.